All right, we are ready.
All right, I will call to order the Green Bay Traffic, Bicycle, and Pedestrian Commission meeting for Monday, July 20th, 2020. Start with the roll call of members. Chairman Keepers is here. Vice Chairman Dan Thino. Can you hear me, Dan?
It's saying connect to audio, so I don't think he is. We may need to ask him to call in like he normally does.
Right. Do you want to do that first, or should I continue with the roll call, Dave?
I'm not sure I know how to do that from here.
Oh, okay.
Is there a way that I can message him privately, do you know?
You can chat.
I can chat him, okay.
He's here, we can see him.
Right, do I do this? Chat, there we go.
I'll finish the roll call while you're doing that, Dave, then.
Okay,
Alder Stevens,
Here.
Lieutenant Struth,
I'm here.
Commissioner Reardon,
I'm here.
Commissioner Smith.
Here.
Okay. Sounds like we had everybody. We'll just wait to hear about Dan then, Dave.
yes, I sent him a message and he has not
Can we
acknowledged
go on
it.
his site for the roll call at least and move along here, or should we wait?
I'd wait because I know he normally likes to approve the agenda in minutes, and so,
Okay.
not that he has to, but I want to interject on the order of items anyway when it comes to those. So under C1, I want to switch up a couple things. Actually, there's really just one. I have an informational item, F2, that I think needs to be moved to after number 4, E4.
After 4, what do you want to do, Dave? After E4?
I want to move item F2 to after E4.
Jeff, okay.
Yeah, we're still not getting any response from Dan. It looks to me like he's. Oh. Oh, one person's waiting. Boy, I'm horrible with this. Okay. Where is he? Oh, right there.
Yep, and if he identifies himself, we can leave him.
I think he's on. I don't see it muted. Dan, can you hear us? So this must be his other line. Let me see. This is me. Matt Keepers. Here's his phone number right here. More. It says merge with video. Would that work? No?
He needs to unmute his phone.
Okay. Oh, it says mute though.
For like on his end.
On his end.
Oh. I'll privately message him. Oh. Dan, can you look at your phone and unmute, please?
Is that it?
Excellent. We can hear you.
All right.
All right. I think we're ready to roll then, Matt.
Okay, I did a roll call. You here, Dan, then?
Yep.
All right, we'll move along. See approval of the agenda. Dave has would like to move item F1 up after E4, so do I hear approval for that?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. D, approval of the minutes, approval of Monday, June 15, 2020, Traffic, Bicycle, and Pedestrian Commission meeting minutes. Do I hear approval
Motion
for
to
those?
approve.
Second.
Motion made and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. E, regular business. General business report by the police department of the 2020 second quarter serious injury and fatality crashes.
Thank you. For the second quarter crash report, we have one significant crash that was reconstructed. It occurred on June 28th, right at 1300 hours, 1 p.m. in the afternoon. June 28th, at that time, I just mentioned officers from the Green Bay Police Department were dispatched to Lombardi Avenue and 12th Street for a report of an injury accident. Officers arrived to find a vehicle that was carrying 3 passengers, which had been struck broadside by a vehicle traveling eastbound on Lombardi Avenue near Bart Starr Road. The 3 occupants of the struck vehicle, unfortunately, passed away almost instantly from the crash. The Brown County Sheriff's reconstruction team was called by me and asked to respond to assist with the investigation and reconstruction of the crash scene, which they did. The driver of the striking vehicle was reported by a number of witnesses to be traveling at a high rate of speed, estimated between 60 and 90 miles per hour. The driver of that offending vehicle received minor injuries, was transported to a local hospital for treatment and released shortly thereafter. He was then transported by Green Bay officers to the Brown County Jail and initially booked on charges of reckless homicide. DA Lassay has since charged that driver with 3 counts of second-degree reckless homicide. And that case now rests in the hands of the district attorney's office for prosecution.
Okay, thank you, Lieutenant Struve. Any comments for anybody in that one, or shall we? Unfortunate situation, bad timing for some people, unfortunately. So, entertain a motion to receive and place on file.
I'll make a motion to receive and place on file.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 2 initial requests, consideration with possible action on the request for Alden Weary to establish a 3-way stop condition at Western Avenue at Mary Hill Drive.
I do not see Alder Weary in on this Zoom meeting, nor is he in the gallery tonight. I will make a staff recommendation to refer to staff for study to request, or of the request to establish a 3-way stop condition at Western Avenue at Mary Hill Drive.
Mr. Chairman, so moved.
Second.
Motion made second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. 3 initial requests. Consideration with possible action on the request for Alderman Stoyer to remove the no parking here to corner zones on Thomas Street east of Neville Avenue.
Again, this Alder Stoyer is not in on the Zoom call, nor is he in the gallery tonight. I did have a brief conversation with him regarding this request. There are a total of 3 no parking here to corner zones on Thomas Street. The north side from Neville Avenue to a point 50 feet east of Neville Avenue. The second one is the south side from Neville Avenue to a point 30 feet east of Neville Avenue. And the third, which is the north side from a point 85 feet west of Velp Avenue to Velp Avenue. It is that third item that I mentioned that I believe is a remnant from the 2010 reconstruction of Velp Avenue, when Thomas Street before construction had actually intersected with Velp Avenue. As part of that reconstruction and consolidation of some of the intersections, that intersection in essence was terminated into an alleyway. So it no longer connects with Velp Avenue. So that zone, I don't believe, has any necessity anymore. I was hoping the Alder was going to attend so we could have a discussion on items 1 and 2, or the first 2 zones that I had mentioned for discussion. The first one, actually, let me start with the second one, that south side, no parking here to corner, the 30 feet east of Neville. It is one I believe still is needed. I think if we remove it, all we're really doing is maybe gaining them 10 feet or so, because there's the automatic 15 feet prohibition to park within a safety zone. And once you figure in the radius of the intersection, that's all you really end up getting or gaining. So that being said, I actually recommend maintaining that one or keeping that one in. The one on the north side, I know it's a little bit longer, but at the same time, I think that it's going to preserve at least the safety of the intersection. Not like this really gets traveled all that much, but I think it's better in case we have, say, a larger SUV or a truck that would want to park close to the intersection and block the stop sign. So I think in the name of safety, I would maintain or keep the first two that I had mentioned, but approve of the removal of the third one, which is north side of Thomas Street from a point 85 feet west of Velp Avenue to Velp Avenue. So that's my recommendation.
Do we need more information while it's stored, or do you think we can vote on?
I think you have enough information to go on. I mean, I don't really think that I would hear any information that would sway my opinion. So staff's recommendation would stay the same. So my guess is that they're just looking for additional spots on the street. However, it's a very small roadway. I think one, maybe two homes, and then there's one vacant business that's on the pie-shaped lot that has on-site parking already. So I think all you're really doing is maybe two residential properties that are going to potentially benefit from this, which they already have parking on their side of the street. So I'm not really understanding any sort of advantage there would be to allowing the request for the first two zones. And to be honest, I don't even know if he's aware that there's three of them. Other than he and I had the discussion about the one I'm making a recommendation in favor of, and we also had we had a discussion about the one that's on the south side of Neville Avenue, that shorter one, and he's aware of what my position was, and he didn't really provide me much feedback other than I think he acknowledged my position. So, and the commission can do what they'd like, but I can just tell you that my position is not going to change.
Okay, all right.
Mr. Chairman, I would recommend
motion?
that we, Mr. Chairman, I would recommend that we accept the recommendation of staff on this issue.
Okay, sounds good. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, motion been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Okay, motion carries. 4, additional request. Consideration was possible action to install bike lanes on Radisson Street from Webster Avenue to Irwin Avenue and to modify parking restrictions as needed to accommodate the bike lanes on both Radisson Street and Irwin Avenue.
I'd like to, well, if you recall from the amended agenda item, I wanted to move item F2 to after E4. They are related items. The only reason that I couldn't put the other one, say, as E5 is that there's really no action to be taken. Therefore, I put it under the informational heading. That being said, I'd like to discuss both of the items together and simply just ask for a recommendation on the one that needs action or approval. So this one, the first item here, E4, that's currently on the table, is for the installation of bike lanes on Radisson Street from Webster to Irwin. Now, item F2, which now is, again, after this one, really is looking at taking from that intersection of Irwin and Radisson and continuing bike lanes north to the front entrance of Bay Beach Park. So the reason I want them to discuss together, because it really is to get across one item, which is we are trying to, at a staff level, create a connection from the Webster Avenue corridor and the 10-foot multi-use path that exists, that was just constructed, as a matter of fact, last year, and make that bicycle connection from Webster Avenue to, in essence, the front entrance to Bay Beach Park. I think it's quite obvious that this is something that we've been seeking for a number of years, and obviously our intention as a city was to create that 10-foot multi-use path to get the bike traffic and the pedestrian traffic closer to Bay Beach. So we were almost there, and obviously we ran out of time last year because the snow fell, and because the project did not open until fall. So, and we can't paint in cold weather, so that's why we're bringing it forward now this year, so we have the favorable conditions for installation. A couple things to point out. Well, the first reason I want to say that one's informational and one requires action is that the informational item, I'll start with the easy one, is already approved as part of the city's Safe Walk and Bike Plan. That was approved by council last year, and North Irwin Avenue, working north to south from Bay Beach all the way to University Avenue, is actually part of that plan for bike lane installation. And as many of you probably know, North Irwin Avenue is a wide street, meaning that there shouldn't be any need to modify parking restrictions or any other restrictions needed in order to fit in the bike lane. So since it's already in the Safe Walk and Bike Plan approved by the city, and that there is no need to modify any sort of on-street parking, it's really something that staff can move forward with its own forces, city forces, signing and marking crews in order to get the bike lanes installed. So that is, again, the informational item. Now to the other one, Radisson. Radisson Street was not part of the approval for Safe Walk and Bike Plan. That's not necessarily a negative thing. It just wasn't, I guess, looked at or considered or part of the overall Safe Walk and Bike Plan that was approved. I think that what we're doing here at Public Works is kind of looking outside of the box and saying, hey, we have an opportunity now that we have such close bike facilities to Bay Beach, and to make this connection seems logical. And I think this certainly will be a situation where if we build it, they will come. I think it will get used. And I think it's going to be a great enhancement to the bike and ped movement that we have going forward in this city. When it comes down to existing facilities, street widths, etc., Radisson is slightly narrower than North Irwin. Irwin has a clear roadway width of 48 feet, which I had explained. We can accommodate everything without having to make modifications. We have 44 feet on Radisson Street, which actually still is plenty wide if we wanted to have 10-foot travel lanes and the bike lane and a 7-foot parking lane. However, we have a designation of a heavy truck route of Radisson Street. So that means we should be preserving our 12-foot travel lanes, meaning that we really wouldn't have any available room for parking. So it's my proposal to actually fill in the gap, so to speak, of the already existing no parking zones that we have. For the most part, the north side of that entire segment is already a no parking this side of street zone. The only area that has some available street parking would be from St. George Street, which is a cul-de-sac. There's a no parking here at a corner zone that actually extends towards North Irwin, all the way up to another no parking here to corner zone at Irwin. So there's a few hundred feet that has some available parking. Anecdotally, I can tell you, I don't think I've ever seen anyone park there, so I don't really think that there's this large demand. I mean, you have a business, or actually two businesses, that have ample on-site parking, so that's probably why we've never seen motorists park there. As for the south side of the street, again, I'll say anecdotally, I don't think I've ever seen anyone park there. You have predominantly business that are back frontage of residential properties, so it's something that is really not being used anyway. So that being said, I think for the overall transportation benefit of adding the bike lanes, I think that we go ahead and restrict the no parking on the south side of Radisson Street from Webster to Irwin, and then get the bike lanes installed. So that's the action I'm asking for, which I will summarize again, is A, for bike lanes to be installed on Radisson Street between Webster and North Irwin, and also to, in essence, fill in any of those holes in the no parking zone. So in essence, the roadway becomes no parking this side of the street, both sides between Webster and Irwin.
Do I hear a motion for Dave's recommendation?
I
Also moved. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
make a motion to accept his recommendation.
Motion been made. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay. Motion been made. Second, all.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
You're good to go there, Dave. So, looks like we're on determinations at this point. Do you want to kind of lump together the ones
Yes.
that need be there, Dave, and go from 5 through 15?
Yes, I can summarize as requested. So item E5, E6, E7, and E8 are all connected to the removal of the permit parking zone that Johnson Bank had leased from the city. And it was at their request that they did not want it any longer, so we went ahead and, at their request, removed it, but wanted to, because of its proximity to downtown, reestablish or basically extend the nearby 2-hour 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday zone. It has been working wonderfully, so I make a recommendation on 5 through 8 for approval. We could probably just take all of them en masse, because I'm just going to give you my Reader's Digest on this, but I will be making a similar approval on all of them, so.
Okay, please do then, Dave.
Okay, so 9 and 10 would be the Maple Avenue no parking zone. That was simply a staff request to increase that zone length because we needed maintenance of the power panel and lift station facility at that location. So that's working great. I talked to staff about it, and they really appreciate it, and it's working out well for them. Items 11, 12, 13, and 14 are all relative to the 30-minute loading zone on Washington Street that was near the Breakthrough Fuel and Fox Harbor pub and restaurant. It was related to that, and they were requesting the removal of the 30-minute zone. So, similar to the Johnson Bank one, we were simply just extending the 2-hour 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday zone. Again, working very well. So that's 11 through 14. And then the last one would be 15, which is the rideshare and taxi loading zones that, again, seem to be working. And when I say that, it is, and we have not heard any negative feedback regarding that. So no news is good news in this situation. So I make a recommendation for items E5 through E15 to be approved as noted.
So move.
Second.
Motion made and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion's carry. Move to item F, informational. Next meeting, Monday, August 17th. Probably the only thing we probably need to discuss at this point is how do we want to have that meeting? Do we want to meet, as Dave, I think, mentioned last month in council chambers, I think you said, Dave, or do we want to continue our Zoom meeting? So, Dave, I don't know, do you want to start the conversation there, or what, from your perspective?
Sure. Well, we do have a modified policy which allows to have these committee meetings, but I believe that we are somewhat restricted to council chambers at this point in time. And if I may, if you don't mind interjecting, is that what your understanding is as well? You don't know? That was my understanding of at least the updated policy that was released via email from our Human Resources Director, Joe Fault. That, there are ways that we can social distance. As I'm looking out into the gallery, as I'm here in this meeting, to social distance, we have that ability. So I think the only thing that we really need to consider at this point in time is, are we going to be able to continue to meet and not have conflicts with other committees or commissions or boards? I think that's probably going to be the largest obstacle that we're going to have at this time. So, I mean, I can give you my preference. I mean, I've always been in favor of having in-person meetings, and I think as long as everyone is safe and adheres to the policies that we have in place, I really have no issue of meeting in person. But I'm only one opinion, and I think we need to have an open discussion about it.
Yeah, that would be my preference. We have not had any, I'm concerned when we get to the point where there's a item where people want to talk about the item and, virtually we've had nobody in the gallery. I think this is the third or fourth meeting we had. So I just think city government probably functions best when it's kind of open model. So that would be my take to, try to have it in social distance, in the appropriate room that City Hall would offer, Dave. The other question I got, what about time? Is that, when we get back to our 5:30 time, or are we going to be out of with some other group or commission?
Okay. Yeah, the intention is to go back to 5:30 p.m. And I know, Matt, you had actually had a concern about that because I know that this kind of cut into some of your work day. So I think in lieu of, or with that in consideration, I think that, it's probably going to be best to accommodate everyone. So I would think 5:30 would be probably most appropriate if we're going to go back to in-person meetings.
Okay, that would be my preference. What about the other commissioners and, Alder Stevens and Lieutenant Stroop? How does that fit in your schedules?
Good with it.
Yeah, I'm fine with that as well. I can make whatever work.
Okay. Dan and Bridget and Ray?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Fine with me.
Okay.
I'm probably I'll come a couple more months, but I'm probably going to resign because I'm not in Green Bay anymore.
Okay.
I mean, a couple months probably isn't a problem. We do come back once in a while for meetings or different things, but
Yeah, I guess the one question that I don't have an answer to at this point in time is, my presumption is that we will probably have some sort of a phase in on that, meaning we probably will still allow people to Zoom in, although we are still having people participate in person. So I guess until we really get a little bit more direction, Ray, I don't know if I would necessarily hang it up just yet. I mean, I think we all appreciate your feedback, and we like that your participation in the meetings. So I guess I'm just kind of speaking maybe on my behalf here. I'd like to see still on, and if this is going to help you participate without having any reservations of coming in and so forth and taking the long drive, I will try to make in whatever accommodations I can here at the city to maintain your participation.
that would be fine.
I think that probably, everybody's got a little different comfort level with the COVID-19 situation. I mean, I think it's best if we try to get back to meeting where we can in person, but if somebody's got an issue or, some type of health concern, as Dave kind of pointed out, at least initially, they could probably do a Zoom too, Dave, correct? If somebody is
I'm thinking
not
that's the
wanting
way
to
it's going to go. I'm hoping that's the way it's going to go. And like I said, I can always keep everyone in the know, via an email or something to the group. Obviously, no action required, just more informational, of course, just to get that information out the more that I hear on what our policy is going to be. Because, I mean, as you even heard today, that sounds like council might be taking up tomorrow night, even the mask ordinance. So that being said, that could even change on how we do business here as well. And I'm assuming that means because we're having extra precautions taking place, that has a potential of maybe opening up to more live meetings here in person. So I don't know. Again, there are obviously things moving along here at City Hall, and this continues to be a dynamic situation that we're monitoring. But I think we are starting to move towards in-person meetings, and I will certainly echo the words that you said, Matt, too. I just think that, we probably maybe have, we don't have the issues of some of the latency and other items when you have these virtual meetings. I know that we have experienced it even today. So it does make it a little bit more difficult that way. So I think that we can enhance our meetings by, again, meeting in person. Another thing I really miss doing is being able to display some of the items for extra clarity when we're presenting items. And I know over the years people have enjoyed the maps that I've presented and some of the summaries, and or even like today's report from Brad, to read along. So those are the sorts of things that we are missing by not being able to meet in person. So I certainly want to move towards that, but again, as Matt was saying, we need to keep everyone's considerations in mind, and hopefully by allowing virtual meetings or people to zoom in on them as an alternate way to participate, I think that we can probably satisfy everyone's needs.
Yes, I concur, Dave. So, okay. So we're, at this point, unless something changes in the next month, and Dave will let us know, we'll plan on meeting. Would it be council chambers then, Dave? Is that the location?
I'm going to assume the answer is yes to that, but don't hold me
Okay.
100% to it. So I think all that we really need to do, since this is informational anyway, is that there is no motion per se on the table, other than that we will be meeting, or we're just announcing via this item that we'll meet on the 17th at 5:30, and the location is still to be determined, and this is something that will evolve as the days move closer. So, and I will certainly keep everyone in the know on this.
Okay. All right, fair enough. I think that takes care of that item then. Does anybody else have anything to add to the cause tonight? If not, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
Motion been made, seconded. We are adjourned then. Motion carries. We will see all on August 17th, and everybody stay safe and take care.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.